right, y'all ready for me? Okay, y'all tell y'all about a story about know what I'm saying? It's a real story behind the Boys in the Hood movie. So I'm glad to tell the story, let y'all know what really happened. See, Boys in the Hood is a 1991 American coming of age hood crime drama film written and directed by the late John Singleton. In his future directorial debut, oh, hold on. It stars Cuba Gooding Jr., who played as Troy Styles, O'Shea Jackson, you know what I mean? O'Shea Jackson, who was also known as Ice Cube, who was in his film debut. Morris Chestnut as Ricky Baker, and Lawrence Fishburne as Jason Furious Styles. See, it's credited as Larry Fishburne. So with Neil Long, Tyra Farrell, with Neil Long who played as Brandy, Tyra Farrell who played as Mrs. Baker, Regina King who plays Shalika. I remember her from 227. It was in her film debut. This is after 227 was off the air. And Angela Bassett, who played as Reva Styles, who was Jason Furious Styles' ex-wife. In the supporting roles, Boys in the Hood follows Troy Styles, portrayed by Gooding, who was sent to live with his father, Furious Styles, portrayed by Fishburne, in South Central Los Angeles, where he reunites with his childhood friends. While surrounded by the neighborhood's booming gang culture. The film's title is a reference to the 1987 Eazy-E rap song of the name that was written by O'Shea Ice Cube Jackson. Here's the theatrical release poster right here. This one right here. It's the theatrical release poster. I think they put that. I think they put that on the shirt. I think they kind of put that on the shirt, but I still had that T-shirt to this day. There's Morris in the back seat of the orange Chevy Impala. Here's Trey dressed up in the outfit that he was wearing. I mean, it was Cuba Gooding. Uh, that's Ice Cube played as Doughboy, wearing the Detroit Tigers snapback hat, and in the black it's a black camp shirt. I think it's a black uniform shirt. I think, and some blue jeans. This is what it says on the T-shirt. Like, I mean, it's already on the poster, like they had on the T-shirt. They put the T-shirt in. They had something as some sayings on the T-shirt. That's just like this theatrical poster. It says, "Once upon a time in South Central LA, it ain't no fairy tale." We got Chestnut sitting in the back seat of the orange Chevy. Gooding sitting on the trunk door of the Chevy, and there's Ice Cube sitting on the trunk of the Chevy. The main people that's always been featured on it was O'Shea Ice Cube Jackson, Cuba Gooding Jr., Morris Chestnut, and Lawrence Larry Fishburne. It's been out since July 2nd, 1991. It was in LA, and it got out in the States. It's a 112 minutes film. Uh, running time was there, but Singleton, he initially developed the film as a requirement for his application to film school in 1986 and sold the script to Columbia Pictures. Columbia Pictures, upon the graduation in 1990. During the writing, he drew the inspiration from his own life and the lives from the lives of the people that he knew growing up, and insisted he directed the project, but he did direct the project though. But the principal photography had began in September of 1990. That was in the fall of 1990. Uh, Around September, it began in September, and it was filmed on a location from October to November of 1990. The film features a breakout roles for Ice Cube, Gooding Jr., Chestnut, and Long. Boys in the Hood was screened in the Uncertain Regard section at the 1991 Cannes Film Festival. It premiered in Los Angeles on July 2nd, 1991, and was theatrically released in the United States 10 days later. The film became a critical and commercial success, grossing about $57.5 million in Northern America. And earning the nominations for the Best Director and Best Original Screenplay at the 64th Academy Awards, when Singleton became the youngest person and the first African American man to be nominated for Best Director. But in 2002, the United States Library of Congress deemed it culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant and selected it for the preservation in the national film industry. The plot was all real here. In 1984, 10-year-old Trey Styles lives with his single mother, Reva Devereaux, in South Central Los Angeles. After Trey gets into a fight at school, his teacher informs Reva that although intelligent, he lacks maturity and respect. Concerned about Trey's future, Reba sends him to live in the Crenshaw neighborhood of South Central with his father, Furious Styles, hoping that Trey will learn the life lessons from him. Furious is also Furious is strict, but also caring and attentive. But in Crenshaw, Trey reunites with his childhood friends. That's right, Trey reunites with his childhood friends, Darren Doughboy Baker, Doughboy's half brother, Ricky, and their friend Chris. That one night, Furious calls the LAPD after the shooting at a burglar. A civil and professional white police officer named Graham and a hostile and self-hating black police officer named Coffee arrived an hour later. The next day, at Chris's suggestion, Trey and his friends go to look at a dead body, after which a group of men harasses them. Later on, en route back from a fishing trip, Trey and Furious notice Doughboy and Chris being arrested for theft, that let alone the stealing. 7 years later, Doughboy is now a Rolling 60s Crip member and a drug dealer. He is released from prison recently, attending his welcome home party, or Chris, now paraplegic due to a gunshot wound, and new friends and fellow Crip members, Dookie and Monster. Ricky is now a star running back at Crenshaw High School, who hopes to earn a university scholarship. He lives with his mother Brenda, his girlfriend Shanice, and their toddler son, a visiting University of Southern California recruiter. Yeah, that's what I said. A visiting University of Southern California recruiter informs Ricky that he must score above a 700 on the SAT to qualify for a football scholarship. Meanwhile, Trey, now mature and responsible teenager, hopes to attend college with his girlfriend Brandy. During a nighttime street gathering On Crenshaw Boulevard, Ferris is a member of the rival Bloods, provokes Ricky. Everybody comes to Ricky's defense, where Doughboy flashes a handgun. The gangs argue, but cooler heads prevail until Ferris fires an automatic Mac 10 into the air, causing everyone to flee and run. Trey and Ricky are soon pulled over by the police. And Officer Coffee, wrongly believing that Trey is a gangster, threateningly holds his revolver to Trey's throat. The distraught Trey goes to Brandy's house where he breaks down. After she comforts him, but they have sexual intercourse for the first time. The next afternoon, Doughboy and his gang notice Ferris and two blood members, you know what I mean, driving through their neighborhood, seeking retribution for the previous night's confrontation. Let me read this. Again. The next afternoon, Doughboy and his gang notice Ferris and the two Bloods members driving through their neighborhood seeking retribution for the previous night's confrontation. But that was at a street gathering. Brenda then asks Ricky to run an errand, but Ricky encounters and brawls with Doughboy beforehand, and Brenda takes Ricky's side. Ricky's test results are delivered as he and Trey depart. Later spotted by the Bloods, they cut through the back alleys to avoid them before splitting up. However, the Bloods catch up to Ricky. Oh yeah, Trey yelled, "Ricky!" And shit. Ricky runs. The knucklehead with the shotgun shoots him in the leg with the shotgun. When Ricky tried to run, he shoots him again. He shoots him right in the back. Shoots him again. Shoot him right in the back. And Ricky is fatally and then he is fatally shot. A distraught Doughboy, goddamn, he helps Trey carry Ricky's bloodied corpse home. Brenda and Shanice, both devastated by Ricky's death, tearfully blame Doughboy for the instigation. Yeah, that's what else would Brenda and Shanice do? They both devastated by Ricky's death, tearfully. They tearfully blame Doughboy for instigating the shooting. He ain't had nothing to do with him getting shot by the knucklehead. He ain't got nothing to do with Ricky getting shot by the knucklehead with the 12 gauge shotgun. But wanting vengeance, Trey takes Furious's gun and is wanted to leave to join Doughboy, but is intercepted by his father, who seemingly convinces him to abandon his plans for revenge. Moments later, Furious and Brandy catch Trey sneaking out to join his friends. Later that night, as they drive around the city, Trey comes to his senses and returns home. Meanwhile, Brenda discovers that Ricky had scored a 710, enough to qualify for the scholarship that he wanted after Doughboy, Dookie, and Monster unexpectedly encounter Ferris and the Bloods at a diner. Monster guns down the fleeing trio in a drive-by shooting. Doughboy then stops and exits the car to approach their bodies, seeing Ferris and Ricky's killer are still alive. He executes them both. Later that evening, when Trey arrives home, he and Furious stare at each other before entering their bedrooms for the night. But the next morning, God, I had to read this to y'all here. The next morning, Doughboy visits Trey. Understanding his reasons for abandoning the gang, knowing that he will face retaliation for killing Ferris, and accepting the consequences of his own lifestyle. Doughboy questions why most people don't know, don't show, or don't care about what's going on in the hood, and laments his brother's death. Trey embraces him as a surrogate brother. As Doughboy leaves and Trey goes back into his house, a postscript reveals that Ricky was buried the next day, and Doughboy was murdered 2 weeks later. Trey ultimately Trey ultimately leaves in the fall to attend college with Brandy in Atlanta, Georgia. I already read this from the movie. I read this. But Boys in the Hood got increased to peace, but we'll show you the cast right here. Cuba Gooding Jr. is Trey Styles. Desi Onez Hines is young Trey. Yeah, Desi Onez Hines the second is young Trey. Ice Cube is Darren Doughboy Baker. Baha Jackson played as the young Doughboy. Larry Fishburne is Furious Styles. Neil Long is Brandy. Nicole Brown is young Brandy. Morris Chestnut, Diamond McCray is Ricky Baker and young Ricky. Tyra Farrell is Brenda Baker. Angela Bassett as Reba Devereaux. Regina King, I remember her from 227. She plays Shalika. Reg Green is Chris. Reg Green and Kenneth Brown as young Chris. Dedrick D. Gilbert as Dookie. Baldwin Sykes as Monster. Alicia Rogers as Shanisa. This is before Class Act, when she played as Davita. Tracy Lewis Sinclair as Shaniqua. Meta King as Brandy's mother. Whitman Mayo as the old man. Yolanda Whitaker plays as Yo-Yo. Lexi Begum as Mad Dog. Raymond Turner as Ferris. Main three people as resting in peace is Lexi Begum. Main people as resting in peace is Whitman Mayo, Lexi Begum, Lloyd Avery II, who was the second knucklehead. John Singleton as the mailman. And the ones that died was Jesse Ferguson. I'm gonna do a roll call. We got Whitman Mayo, rest in peace, as the old man. Yolanda Yo-Yo Whitaker, Lexi Begum, Raymond Turner's Ferris. Yeah. Lloyd Avery II as the second knucklehead, who was in the backseat clutching the shotgun. John Singleton as the mailman. Kirk Kinder as Officer Graham, and Jesse Lawrence Ferguson as Officer Coffee. For the production of the movie here, when Singleton first wrote the film based on his own life and that people that he knew when applying for film school. But one of the questions on the application form was to describe the 3 ideas for films. One of the ideas Singleton composed was titled Summer of '84, which later evolved into the Boyz in the Hood movie. During writing, Singleton was influenced by the 1986 film Stand By Me, which inspired both an early scene where 4 young boys take a trip to see a dead body and a closing fade out of main character Doughboy. Upon completion, Singleton was protective of his script, insisting that he be the one to direct the project. Later explaining at the retrospective screening of the film, he said, "I wasn't going to have somebody from Idaho or Encino direct this movie." He sold the script to Columbia Pictures in 1990, who had greenlit the film. Immediately out of interest in making a film similar to the comedy drama film Do the Right Thing in 1989. For the role of the Doughboy character was written especially for Ice Cube. Hope Singleton met while working as an intern at the Arsenio Hall show. Singleton was noted the studio was unaware of Ice Cube's standing as a member of the rap group NWA. Singleton claims Goody and Chestnut were cast because they were the first ones who showed up to the auditions, while Fishburne was cast after Singleton met him. That's what happened. While Fishburne was cast right after Singleton had met him on the set of the Pee Wee's Playhouse show, where Singleton worked as a production assistant and a security guard. Long grew up in the area. The film depicts and has said something. He said that it was important as a young actor to me that this feels real because I knew what it was like to go home from school and hear gunshots at night. Bassett referred to Singleton as her little brother on the set. I'd been in LA for about 3 years, and I was trying 3 times to do films. She said, we talked, I auditioned, and he gave me a shot. I've been waiting to work with him ever since. The film was shot in a sequence with Singleton, later noting that as the film goes on, the camera work gets better, as Singleton was finding his foothold as a director. He has a cameo in the film, appearing as the mailman handing over mail to Brenda, as Doughboy and Ricky are having a scuffle in the front yard. Filming began on October the 1st of 1990 in South Central Los Angeles, with the several gang members serving as the consultants on wardrobe, vocal emphasis, and the dialogue changes to ensure authenticity. The reception and the legacy of this movie here, the review aggregation website Rotten Tomatoes gives the film an approval rating of 96% based on 71 reviews and an average score of 840 slash 8 dot oh, it was like 8.40 slash 10. The website's critical consensus reads well acted and thematically rich. Boys in the Hood observes urban America with far more depth and the compassion that many of the like-minded films its success inspired. At Metacritic, the film received an average score of 76 out of 100, based on 20 reviews, which indicates generally favorable reviews. I mean, generally favorable reviews. For the cultural impact of the movie, Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood launched the acting careers of Gooding, Cube Chestnut, Long, and King, who were given their first major leading roles in the film, as well as the first significant film role for Angela Bassett, along with the movies like Colors in 1988 and Do the Right Thing in 1989. Boys in the Hood is credited as a notable pioneer of the hood film genre in its success leading to the American hood films such as New Jack City, Juice, Minister Society, Friday, Training Day, 8 Mile, Hustle and Flow, Get Rich or Die Trying, Dope, Straight Outta Compton. That was both came out in like 2015. But these films came out like 1991, 1992, 1993, 1995, 2001, 2002, 2005, and 2015. And then The Hate You Give, the movie, that came out in 2018. For his work, Singleton earned the nominations for the Best Director and Best Original Screenplay at the 64th Academy Awards, making him the youngest person and the first African American to be nominated for the Best Director. Ever since then, the only black nominees in the category have been that faggot director. He's been in the fucking closet for way too long. Lee Daniels. That faggot Lee Daniels is trying to throw Morty Gimes under the goddamn bus. That son of a bitch. That's what got pictures of him and Sean Combs kissing each other. That got shown on the Zesty Gay Hip Hop Agenda video. Let me do it again. The only black nominees in the category for have been like, oh, let me see. Let me see. The only black nominees in the category have been Lee Daniels, Steve McQueen, who have already did a live show based on 2 years ago. But in 2002, the United States Library of Congress deemed the film. That's what I'm explaining to y'all. But in 2002, the United States Library of Congress had deemed the film to be culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant, and selected it for the preservation in the national film industry. The accolades came from him. He was best director, best screenplay written directly on for the screen. He film award he won. He nominees for him. He won them. Best film he did nominated. He was nominated for. Best director he's nominated. Or best supporting actor in screenplay. Most promising actor for Ice Cube. Ice Cube at one. Stanley Clark won that for Film Music Award. But John Singleton got nominated with Ice Cube, Lawrence Fishburne. You know what I'm saying? All three of them were nominated. But Ice Cube and Cuba Gooding Jr. were both promising actors. He won the that award anyway, and then Cuba Gooding Jr. got nominated for it. The best film, there's a nomination. Johnson, he got nominated for best director. Favorite movie he got nominated for. Ice Cube got nominated for favorite movie actor. New Jersey Award, Singleton had won them. The best movie, he was nominated for it. Best new filmmaker, he won that. Outstanding motion picture, he won that. At seventh place, it was there for top 10 films. He gained like seventh place. National Film Registry, he was inducted by it. He was inducted into it. You know what I mean? The NYFC Circle Awards for Best New Director, he motion picture, he won those. Expose nominated for it. Human Rights won those. Peace won those. Bronze Horse nominated for it. Best screenplay written for directly to screen. Written best. That's what it says. Best screenplay written directly for the screen. He was nominated for it. The ensemble outstanding young ensemble cast and motion picture who has already won it, won the YAA was Desi Arnaz Hines II, Baja Jackson, and Donovan McQuarrie, who was Darius McQuarrie's brother. They all three of them had won those. That's why outstanding young ensemble cast in a motion picture. But in 2007, Boyz n the Hood was selected as one of the 50 films to see in your lifetime by Channel 4. But AFI listed it. AFI is 100 years and all that stuff. 100 movies, that's there. That's 10th anniversary edition. That's nominated for it. But the soundtrack was released by the likes of Quest / Warner Brothers Records. The same Quest. I mean, it was like Quest and Warner Brothers Records. Warner Brothers Records was a record label that signed Ice T to a deal. That signed Ice T to a deal. That's how Ice T got kicked off the label by Warner Brothers because this shit that he went, because this shit happening with the Cop Killer song that was on the that was from the album Cop Killer. That was with him and Body Count. Then before 1982, Ice T got fired by Warner Brothers because of this controversial cop killing lyrics. It was with him and Body Count. Yeah, everybody else knows that. That's all there. And this and the last show I did was dedicated to the legs of John Daniel Singleton, who was an American screenwriter and producer. He made his film debut in writing and directing Boys in the Hood, for which that he was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Director, becoming at age 24 the first African American and youngest nominee in the category. Rest in peace, John Daniel Singleton, born on January 6, 1968, died on April 28, 2019. He will be missed and he may have been resting in peace, but his name will not be taken in vain. I promise you, his name will not be taken in vain.